What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is the King and I Life podcast, hosted by myself, Soul Toucher the Poet, and my brother, Son Soul X, in his joint. Check it out. Hit us up, www.kingandilife.com, for all our podcast info. Subscribe to whatever podcast platform that you choose. Also, hit us up, KINGANDEYE369@gmail.com. Email us your suggestions, your feedback, and all that good stuff. Tune in to us live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And make sure you like, subscribe, and share, because we are all over all those social media platforms. Stay tuned for the good stuff. Yeah, we out. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the King and I Life podcast. It's your man, Soul Toucher the Poet, and my brother,
Son Soul X.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It's been a lot going on in the world, in America, and all over the place. But we're gonna chop it up. We're gonna talk about the crisis in Ukraine.
Yes, sir.
I'll let you open this one up.
All right. Well, as usual, you guys know where you guys can find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, of course, and please continue to hit that like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. We're getting close to the 100 mark. We're not quite there yet, but we're striving to get there. So please continue to do that. And of course, we're on all of your major podcast platforms. Was there anything else you want to add to that?
Nah, we already got the intro for that. You add a little bit in there so we can kick it on.
All right. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about the crisis in Ukraine, which is a subject that I know everyone around the world is basically looking at right now. And people have a wide range of opinions on the subject. But war has been and will continue to be a continuous subject for many reasons there that are understandable, and in some cases mind-blowing, depends on an individual's view. It will be a debatable topic regardless of a person's individual opinion. One sensitive issue when it comes to this is the laws of war. The challenges between the two are not new. It has been going on since February of 2014, but has since boiled over when Russia invaded in February of 2022. So it's been going on for a while. It just got to a point where Russia basically said, F it, let's go and do it. And that's where we're at right now. So your thoughts on Russia attacking Ukraine?
I'm gonna have to speak on this topic from a civilian's point of view.
All right.
I just think it's retarded. Like, I mean, I can't get into the mindset of Putin, but from what I've listened to in the news, he pretty much doesn't want the Ukraine to be part of NATO. And that he's trying to get the USSR back together like it used to be. But overall, I just think it's a sad thing that he's done, especially with the lives that it's affecting right now.
My thoughts are I see both sides of the coin, meaning I sympathize with the people or the nation of Ukraine. On the other hand, I see why Putin has taken the line that he's obviously on. He basically drew a line in the sand and said, "Hey, if y'all cross this line, I'm going to do what's necessary." Um, Meaning, with Ukraine joining NATO, he didn't have a problem with that. He advised them not to. They went on and did it anyway. But what it comes down to is he's basically saying, you guys are attached to the nation of Russia. And because you're taking that stance of being part of United Nations, you're allowing them to come into the nation of Ukraine and set up military forces, meaning all kind of bases and weaponries and armories and you name it, they got it there. And it's like, okay, now y'all too goddamn close to comfort for me. I'm feeling uncomfortable with that. So it is basically like if you were to take the state of California being connected to the U.S., how it is. It's all joined together. So let's say our foreign enemies, whoever they may be, were to start setting up military bases all over California and the United States. So California, hey, even though you guys aren't a part of us, we're still connected. We're feeling uncomfortable with you allowing people to set up a military base within your borders. So anyway, that's why he, as far as my understanding of the research I've done, and I don't have all the details, but he's basically saying you guys are too close for comfort. I don't like it, so you did what you had to do. I'm going to do what I feel I have to do.
But the problem with that is the Ukraine is not part of anything. He don't want them to be a part of NATO. And quite honestly, if there were some NATO bases over there, Putin be in trouble because like NATO's motto is you attack one, you attack all. So from that standpoint, that's why well, I don't know if I want to say that's why they are doing things the way that they're doing. Um, he doesn't want Ukraine a part of NATO. He doesn't want NATO bases in Ukraine. And this is him saying, because this is where I stand, I'm going to come in there and brutalize y'all until y'all submit. Basically saying, I'm going to beat you to your knees until you say, all right, I quit. But the Ukrainian people they're not for that. And to their benefit, they have all the NATO countries sending them equipment, sending them money, sending them food and all this stuff, which is helping them slow the Russians down and kick a little ass at the same time. Um, so yeah. But to back up a little bit, because I know we've had podcasts before, and you know, if I quote you correctly, you say there's no point in having war, or how I remember exactly how you said it. But with that being said, when you look at this war, how do you like personally feel about this war?
I think it sucks ass, to be honest with you. Because again, I think that when it comes down to all the people who have lost their lives already on both sides, the people who are going to lose their lives in the future, and I don't give a damn how much supplies you send or additional funds or additional weapons, Russia is a beast. We all know that. We've known that, since we were old enough to realize how massive the nation of Russia is. So it's only going to be a matter of time before it's kind of like a tidal wave coming in over Ukraine. And I'm not saying that Ukraine can't defend itself or it doesn't have a snowball chance in hell. But what I am saying is Russia is a beast. So unless Ukraine gets some additional help, meaning more than just funding and weaponry, it's going to be interesting. And I'll leave it at that. But back to the main question, I don't think that war is fair to either side because, again, the people at top are the only ones damn benefiting. If you want to know the truth, the ones who can push a button and make shit happen, they're only in it because of their own selfish fucking reasons. There should be no way in hell these two nations can't come together and settle their differences peacefully. It may take a month, it may take a year, it may take a few years. But again, I'm just someone who's never been for war. And yourself?
I honestly, I'm not for or against war. Um, my stance on it is, well, in particularly, I mean, overall, that's my stance, but in particular to this, I think this is like stupid. It just stupid. Um, Russia was a beast. Russia is a formidable army, but at the end of the day, unless they are using, unless they intend on using chemical weapons or nuclear weapons, at this point they're not doing quite well, honestly. I mean, if you look at Ukraine and then you look at Russia and you look at the countries that used to be a part of the Soviet Union that are still supporting Russia, one would think they would have took Ukraine over very, very fast, but they're not. Um, Not to mention, I know I had checked out the news a couple times over the last couple of weeks. Russia is resorting to hiring mercenaries from other countries like Syria and stuff like that, um, to help them out. But the problem with that is the mercenaries that they're hiring from other countries, they're seeing how the Russians are getting their asses handed to them in some situations, and they understand very clearly what could happen if this goes left. And what I mean by that is, they're already seeing how Russia is getting their asses kicked in certain places. So, how would that look for them to do better than the Russian army? Or how would that look to them? They get caught up in that, or caught up in the middle at when if things really really go left. Because you have to look at it like this: if, let's just say, we had a group of friends that's over there fighting, and um and they getting their ass kicked, and we go over to help them, it's like, are we going to put our all into this and they getting their ass kicked? Like, you know, y'all went over there and messed with these people because y'all said y'all was going to run right over them, and y'all not running over them. So if me and you, if they say, hey, yo, we need y'all backup, we'll pay y'all to come in and help us out, and we get paid, and we coming in and we looking at what's going on, and we like, bruh, we not getting too deep in that because they getting their asses kicked and they started this. So we gonna fall back a little bit because we not gonna come in here and they supposed to be the big bad wolf, but they getting knocked down. We not doing that. So That's pretty much how that's going over there.
Uh, the thing about it is, I don't believe what the news is telling us. I just don't believe it. If you're telling me that Ukraine is whooping the shit out of Russia, I'm sorry, you gotta sell that lie a hell of a lot better than that.
No, they're not
We
whooping the
we
shit out of Russia.
we
Russia is not
know.
Russia is not dragging the hell out of Ukraine like they are supposed to be doing. That's the problem over there. Ukraine does not have a very strong army. At this point, they have civilians fighting the Russians. But you have to look at it like this: Russia is a superpower, and they're having problems over there. That's the problem.
So we're being told.
It ain't about being told. You can look at every video that you see over there. Every video that you see over there. You have to look at it like this. Russia has nuclear weapons. Russia has chemical weapons. All the videos that we are seeing, we're seeing how Russia is tearing up the Ukraine. They are literally tearing up the Ukraine. They're blowing up oil fields. They're blowing up water supplies. They're raping people. They're assassinating people in the street. They're throwing people in mass graves. They're they they're blowing up their ports. They're doing all of this to Ukraine. But at the end of the day, they've been doing this for about a month almost. And Ukraine has not fallen yet. Trust me, if Ukraine has fallen, we would not be seeing anything from over there, period, because we wouldn't have news people over there. There would be no international news over there. We would not be seeing anything. Because I know for damn sure, if I was a reporter from America and Ukraine and Russia ran over Ukraine, why would I risk myself getting killed? That's retarded.
Again, we only get the news that they want us to see.
Do you watch international news?
I do.
Okay, well, all these news outlets can't be lying.
Again, we only see what they want us to see.
Okay, so what is it
I
that you
feel
believe
like,
or not believe?
again, I just feel like they're lying to us
About what exactly?
about the true state of what's going on over there.
What do you think the true state of what's going on over there is?
I think that Russia's doing a hell of a lot more damage than what they're saying they're doing. And I don't think Ukraine is doing as well as they say they're doing.
Russia has tore that country up in a lot of places. There's no denying that. I've seen all the pictures and videos, and it's very, very sad. They've blown up buildings with civilians in it. They've blown up buildings with children in it. So, from what you're saying, then that's also like saying you can't believe that Russia is really tearing up the whole country.
What I'm saying is, and I want to be clear about this. It's kind of like the whole U.S. going against, for the lack of size comparison, like the Bahamas.
That's not a good comparison.
I'm saying if you were to take all of the Bahama Islands and combine them,
That's still not a good comparison. You have to look at it like this.
look beyond that. Look beyond that. I'm saying, for example, I'm not saying to true to light, but what I'm saying is Russia in size is like a behemoth
But
over
Russia,
Ukraine.
Russia inside is not in size. Their population does not cover their whole country. Most of their country does not have people on it. Like seriously, most of their people is in Moscow, Leningrad, and all those countries around there where it's not frozen. They have isolated tribes and communities in the frozen areas, but Russia in size, they don't have people all over their country.
That may be so, but their army is massive.
It's not that massive.
So
I
you're
promise
telling
you
me
it's
that
not.
Russia's army is it pales in comparison
To what?
to like the Ukraine army.
No.
Give me a clear picture of what you're saying, because
Russia's
you're telling me Russia's army is not that massive, and we know
look
that
at it.
Russia is one of the biggest continents on the earth.
Just because it's the biggest continent on earth does not mean it has the biggest army. That's right. That
I'm
right
not
there
saying
is
that.
no,
I'm saying it
no,
has a massive army.
no. You're saying the size of Russia, because of the size of Russia, they have a massive army. That's not true. Their army is not that big. When you look at the size of Russia, it's not that big. You have to take into consideration Russia. Yes, Russia is a very big country, but they don't have people in military across their whole country. So look at it like this: if we went to war with Russia, we probably have more military members than Russia.
So they comprise the world's fifth largest military in terms of active duty personnel, with at least 2 million reserve personnel.
And where'd you get that from?
So I just typed in what size is Russia's army in Google. It's not giving me a specific site. So let me scroll down and see what else I find.
Russia's army has 280,000 personnel, and its armed forces have 900,000 overall.
So nationwide, it's saying that Russia has 900,000 active military personnel across the land.
Overall.
Clean air, 280,000 soldiers, 165 air personnel, 150 naval troops. And that's nationworld.com. So that's pretty fucking massive in my opinion. I could be wrong.
Okay, so I found I don't know how accurate this website is that I found. And it has the top 10 size military. Again, I'm not quoting this website because I don't know. This one says Vietnam has over 10 million. You look at the size of Vietnam. It says North Korea has 7.7 million. You look at the size of North Korea. South Korea has 6.7 million. Look at the size of South Korea. India, 5.1 million. China, 4 million. China is a very big country, just like Russia is, right? Russia has 3.5 million. United States, 2.1 million. Brazil, 2.1 million. Taiwan, 1.8. Pakistan, 1.4. I guarantee you, if the United States went one-on-one with any of these countries, all of them would get their ass kicked, even the ones with the bigger armies. I guarantee you that.
I'm not saying the United States wouldn't. I'm just saying that's still a massive fucking army.
It's a massive army, but they're not for the size of the Russian army is compared to the size of the Ukraine army. The size of Russia itself compared to the size of Ukraine itself. If you just look at those points right there, Russia ain't really doing shit. I'm not saying they ain't tearing shit up. But if you base that on that, Russia's not doing very well. Because by those numbers alone, you would think Russia would have ran the country over in a week or two. Mind you, Russia has an air force with very good planes.
Okay. So hold on here. I just want to get another figure on the size of the actual Ukraine army.
From what I found, it's 126,000.
On nationalworld.com, it's 125,600 ground troops, 35,000 air personnel, and 15,000 naval troops. Another 900,000 reservists. So yeah, 125,600 ground troops. 35,000 air personnel. 15,000 naval troops. Could be wrong, but that's a pretty big goddamn gap right there.
And that's my point. If you look at those numbers alone, the Ukraine president should not even be on TV talking about we need your help. He should be dead. If you go off of those numbers just alone.
Should be.
But they're not.
But again, I don't believe what the news is saying.
You don't have to believe what the news is saying. If you just go off of the numbers that you just looked at, if you go off of that alone, you don't have to look at the news. If you go off these numbers that on that you found on Google from these various websites that we cannot confirm, correct. If you just base it off of that, Ukraine should be a memory at this point. We should not see the former Ukrainian president on TV talking about we need help.
I don't know, because at this point we really don't know what Putin's plan is. We know that he wants shit under control. That's about all we know. But what's his strategy?
He doesn't have a strategy. That's why they're killing civilians. That's why they're raping civilians. That's why they're burning swastikas on civilians. That's why they're throwing them in mass graves.
I think that's what we're kind of assuming right there.
We're not. How are we assuming that?
Starts a war without having a plan.
Bullshit.
There's an end goal.
No, there is no end goal. The end goal is to take over. That's it.
Exactly.
If you, that's not a plan.
How is that not a plan? When you take
that's not a plan.
A whole freaking nation.
Okay, look at it like this. Your goal is to rebuild that car that you have in your garage. That's your goal.
Right.
What plan have you put in place that you are working on to do it?
Right now, I'm in the process of stripping everything down.
Okay, you're in a process of it.
My first process is to strip everything down. When I'm done stripping everything down and I find out what it is I need to know as far as the body work, I can make my next move.
Now, keep that in mind right there.
Be refurbished.
Keep that part Keep that part in mind right there. Now, how long do you think it's going to take you to do that part right there?
I probably got another. If I had to put it into hours or a time span,
put it in weeks.
Okay. I probably have at least another 6 weeks.
Okay. Now, Putin's plan is to prevent Ukraine from joining NATO and bring them back in the fold. That's his goal. Now,